Well, it happened again. It happened just a few days ago in the subway in Japan. Over there in Tokyo, they reported a strange substance that had caused reactions. Well, at least on a local level. But this time it happened again. This time once more in Tokyo. They report a situation that's completely unusual, they say, in which a group of people was apparently affected by an unknown substance. And obviously that set off the alarms because now there is new information coming in. A moment ago, we uploaded a short video of what was happening. Let's get into the details as things are changing and the information is still developing. To the community, to everyone who joins us and keeps us company here, I want to thank you so much for liking, for sharing, and well, if you can and would like to, when you subscribe, make sure that the bell is activated for all the videos so that the notifications show up for you. Because here every day, we upload and update live what's happening in the world at all hours. And at all times, a man knows he is a man. Wearing a black jacket and white pants, he allegedly threw a substance inside a luxury shopping mall in Tokyo, causing an immediate emergency. The incident occurred in the Ginza district, one of the most popular and crowded tourist spots in Japan. At least 20 people were affected, according to authorities, after a strong smell was reported in the ATM area. Witnesses described the symptoms as irritation, a feeling of numbness after inhaling the substance, and also a sore throat. Emergency teams are arriving in special hazmat suits, indicating the potential risk. Regarding this toxic chemical, according to reports, several victims were evacuated on stretchers, while others are being examined in special units outside the building. Despite the chaotic situation in the shopping mall, it was not completely closed, which also raised concerns about possible additional risks. Japanese police are investigating the origin of the substance and the motive of the attacker, which so far has not been fully explained. Entero. What was observed though were these movements where they have some kind of banners or plastic walls that are immediately put up so that people can't see inside. There is the moment when they are removing the substance from one of the walls, apparently to investigate it. There they are. Apparently that's what happened among what has been reported. Japan. Well, Japan insists that it's an extremely rare case. We have to remember that they have a very low level of crime, criminality. It's a country where those kinds of situations almost never happen. This event is causing fears that there might be, well, I don't know, some kind of movement, something like that, some kind of attack. I mean, it's an issue that might be more organized. This is the second one this week. There's little information about the other one. We only know they evacuated part of the subway due to a substance found there. But anyway, it's something we'll keep updating as it happens or as more information. At first, they said there was one person hospitalized. Then they said 20. Then they confirmed it was 20, but that the people were okay. Now they're saying no, that it really is 20, that there are 20 people hospitalized to monitor their symptoms. If there's any problem, well, they let us know. But for now, it is confirmed that 20 people have been treated at the hospital. I mean, they actually needed to go to the hospital. The rest were treated in other simpler special units, so to speak. Among the images, you could see a person, according to the security cameras, apparently wearing a face mask and a black jacket. And with some kind of tube, maybe a type of spray that they're spraying at people. People would react immediately. It hasn't been confirmed that it was pepper spray because, to begin with, well, it would be very easy to identify, and the authorities haven't been able to confirm it. They haven't been able to confirm what the substance is. Another issue that also draws attention is what US intelligence is reporting right now. Let's get to that. Okay. Notice what's happening regarding the Iranian supreme leader who has basically been missing, right? Since then. Well, since the war started, right? The supreme leader actually wasn't even the supreme leader. His father was, right? Right? And now Mojtaba, right? Ali Khamenei and now Mojtaba Khamenei. Well, he does. Well, since it started, since he's been operating, he hasn't appeared. Nobody knows about him, right? There's no confirmation that he really exists, right? That he's alive. But they say he's the supreme leader, right? What's going on and what is intelligence saying right now? Because there are several issues that I think are key to understanding what's happening. First, according to the intelligence report, Mojtaba Khamenei would be hiding in a place secret, completely isolated, so isolated that, well, very few people really know or would know where Mojtaba is. According to US intelligence, it was confirmed that his communication is extremely limited. Very, very few people would be connecting with this individual. The situation has also caused critical delays in the negotiations because reaching him is very complicated. Officials say there are difficulties communicating with the supreme leader, even within their own government. The context is highly sensitive since Mojtaba was injured in the recent attacks during the operation on day one of the United States military operations in Iran. It should be remembered that on that same day his father died, and in that same explosion he was nearby, apparently outside, and the attack hit him hard as well. US intelligence, but also Israeli intelligence, has managed to infiltrate enough to eliminate him and take out multiple high-ranking Iranian officials within the conflict, and that has him highly concerned that he might be next. Despite how chaotic this sounds, the supreme leader is said to have already approved some main points of the agreement with the United States. This is also a big issue because the agreement talks about a series of environmental charges. It's no longer called a toll. Now it's called an environmental charge. What are the Iranians going to be doing to all the ships that pass through there? What is reported in this analysis, in this now public intelligence report, is that there is paranoia. There is active paranoia right now surrounding Mojtaba himself. They say the basic idea is not to go out or make any appearance. The information, even when it does show up, comes fragmented, as if it were going through many filters in order to reach, well, a negotiation or a message, let's say, validated. He says that internal paranoia has led to a fragmented, slow, and unreliable communication system, constantly generating uncertainty in making clear decisions. In other words, confusion. The other important matters about what's happening in the world. And look, going back or moving on with what's happening in Iran, the stance of the Iranians has hardened. They have stalled the agreement, at least. Iran confirms that there is progress in the negotiations. But for now, there are also points on which they do not agree. They insist that they will continue to charge for what they call environmental services, because it is one of the most important oil routes in the world. This maritime passage, which is key for global energy supply, they say is now under Iranian control. I'm not saying there wasn't already some control by them, but let's say that ships could pass as they wanted and there was no problem. Or not, or there used to be no problem. But these measures are causing a significant reaction all over the world. Now, if we look at the price of oil, let's quickly check the price of oil, close this, and go straight to oil. It's still, let's say, at a certain price. Well, it's $98. $98. I mean, below $100. This would at least show some relief and West at $91, right? Yes, West at $91. There it is. I mean, it means that there's a possibility to negotiate. It means that those who are watching the money, those who are watching the oil costs, the barrels, and so on, are realizing that they're not buying as much oil anymore. So excessively, I mean, there's no longer a lack of supply. There's enough supply. So immediately, the price of oil starts to go down. It's about to hit 89 for West Texas. Yes, it's getting closer and closer. And this, well, obviously, it's an important piece of news, right? I would even say it's news that gives much of the world some relief that oil isn't continuing to rise, right? Evolve on other matters as well. So it's important. Let me talk about what's happening with the Ebola issue. There are several updates, but I think this is among the most important. A group of men broke into a general hospital called Mogdawalu, located right at the epicenter of the outbreak. Okay? Right where the outbreak is. I mean, over there in Congo. Yes? In the northeastern part. Yes. According to what is reported in this part of the world, this group went and stormed Mogdawalu General Hospital, or Mogdawalu. This, according to reports, this attack happened during the night, creating a chaotic situation. Just imagine, what you don't want is for it to spread. Ebola. And with increasingly chaotic and complicated situations, it could be or might be that the problem spreads to other regions. Gunshots were reported in the area, which forced the staff to simply evacuate the emergency zones. Everyone is evacuated, both patients and workers. At the moment, it has not been confirmed whether anyone was injured. What did those individuals want? The attackers, according to what some witnesses say, they were after the bodies of 2 relatives who died from Ebola. And it's not clear, but apparently they were able to take them. So they showed up with weapons and took, let's say, the lady or the gentleman, whoever it was. They took them, I mean, the bodies, right? So they could bury them and hold the funeral. And the hospitals aren't releasing them. If they died of Ebola, they simply don't release them because of the risk involved, handling of the body. So given this, just imagine they're taking a body that could possibly infect those family members, right? The ones who want to bury it. The health authorities would have established strict protocols where only specialized teams can handle and bury the victims. But the families didn't want this. This attack would represent the 3rd similar incident this week alone. The resistance of the local population to the health measures is worsening the crisis, creating a confrontation with the medical staff. This type of incident is already putting current patients at risk, but also the entire region, according to what experts say. The lack of trust in the authorities is causing the problem not to end because people don't trust them. I mean, people have different customs. They don't trust. And in the end, that situation remains complicated. Let's move on to other points, other important matters as well. Moving on to other matters, and thank you very much to the community that is already subscribed and is also a member of the channel. Thank you very much. Donald Trump is making demands of the Arab countries and their neighbors, that is, from all the Arab countries, including Iran. Yes, just imagine. I say that because it would be something extraordinary, but unlikely for now. Donald Trump is asking these countries to sign the Abraham Accords, including Iran. In this proposal, let's take a look at the post, because it's really something, isn't it? Let's see. This is the post, and it's really long. Let's see. This is the post. Let's see. Straighten it up. There it is. Let's see. This is the New Nation, by the way, doing a report on those UFOs that we'll talk about later on PP Clips, by the way, on PP Noticias. Look, there's the post. It's huge, really long. Well, and it goes on and on. Yes, 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 yes. I mean, it's really, really long. This time, it's like he said, here I go, right? And he just went all in with the message and kept on writing and writing. The President of the United States claims talks with the Tehran regime are progressing, and he aims to promote Middle East coexistence, citing an agreement already formalized by the United Arab Emirates and other countries in the region, in which, well, they are supposedly getting along well with Israel. He says this today, Monday. We're already at 26. Yes, we're at 25. Negotiations with the Islamic Republic of Iran are going very well, wrote Trump, although he warned that he will only accept a great deal for everyone or no deal at all. In that sense, he maintains that diplomatic failure would mean going back to the battlefield and to exchanges of fire, but bigger and stronger than ever. The American president also said that the leaders of Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Pakistan, Turkey, Egypt, Jordan, and Bahrain should simultaneously join the Abraham Accords. This pact was promoted during his first term to normalize diplomatic relations between Israel and the Arab nations. Trump specifically mentions Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and Emirati President Mohammed bin Zayed Al Thani, Turkish President Recep Tayyip, Emirates to Pakistan, Jordanian, and among other leaders who were mentioned there, right? The idea is to bring those people to the agreement, right? The idea is to bring those people to the agreement, right? To align this agreement with Israel, the American president said that the leaders of Pakistan and Egypt should join the accords at the same time. The president also stated that Saudi Arabia and Qatar should lead a new stage of the pact and warned that those who do not join could be excluded from any regional understanding with Iran. If they don't do it, they shouldn't be part of this agreement because that would show bad intentions, says Donald Trump. That is also an important part of what is happening in the world. By the way, on a different note, in other interesting matters, a ban is already being implemented. They say there is now a total ban by Russia's central bank on Visa and MasterCard. The curious thing is that, well, more than being banned, Visa and MasterCard are actually blocked for them, for Russia. For Russia to ban it, well, you're going to ban something that doesn't exist. I mean, that's not there, right? It's interesting. They say our position is that cards with international payment systems should leave our market as they no longer serve their previous functions, said the head of the National Payment Systems Department. Well, indeed. I mean, it's a blockade. It's a very severe financial isolation that has basically been in place since the war started, right? With Ukraine. So in response to this, well, it's a financial blockade that simply just remains there, right? The central bank says, we're going to block them. Well, they're already blocked, right? By the way, another thing that draws attention is what's happening inside Iran regarding the executions they're carrying out. Again, a person named Abar Akbari, who was accused of being part of the protests, was reportedly killed, right? Unfortunately, things continue. Those kinds of regrettable actions by the Ayatollah's regime keep happening, which shows, pues muestra, how afraid they are that the protests will continue, right? Carrying out these kinds of public executions against the very population that is protesting, right? Because they don't agree with the things being done by the Ayatollahs, right? Well, that's how things are in that part of the world. By the way, just take a look at what they've been reporting. Let's see if we can see it here. This is what we're seeing here. It would be, look, you can see it at the start. There it is. That's when the explosion happens. The Israeli army reportedly attacked a building in Ranchi Diet The south of Ranchi Diet is an area in southern Lebanon. After a warning, first, they warned people to evacuate the area, and then it was attacked. That building was used by Hezbollah for military activities, according to what the army has said. Well, the army, obviously from Israel. All right, let's go. So let's move on to other important matters quickly to the comments. Right, Gabriel, how have you been? Gas Duro. Hey, Diaz, well, greetings to you too. Panterita, hello there. It says straight. It says it doesn't belong to just one country, but its territorial waters are divided between Trinidad on the northern shore and Oman through the Musandam Enclave and the United Arab Emirates on the southern shore. Gas Duro says, how are you? Gas Duro, big greetings. Roble, how are you? How have you been? Panterita, MT, Adaiso, how have you all been? MT, good morning. It mentions environmental issues. Now, there's big concern about the safety and the environment, right? An environmental toll. Just imagine. Javier Castillo, how are you? Thanks for the like, Javier. Eric Marino, how are you? Good morning to all of you as well. Edilcia, how are you? Well, look, this is the first report. Well, the second, because the first one was live, but this is our second report of the day. But the first one, the first broadcast, will be back in a little while. Obviously, with other news, we'll be talking in a little while, giving you an update on how the outbreak is going. I'll tell you right now, the numbers have increased considerably from yesterday to today. I imagine because of everything that's happening and also with other issues, right? Including this topic about the WAPAS, who have published several very interesting things today. Among them, there already are a situation, a rumor. Let's say it's more than just a rumor, right? Because several journalists who are close to Trump's circle have already been able to confirm what I'm about to tell you. But we'll talk about it in a little bit because it shows that some very shocking things are coming on that topic, right? I mean, some very interesting twists. Sorry, I'm still reading. Greetings to the whole community watching us and to those watching the replay as well, by the way. Ada, how have you been? Greetings to Marisol as well. How's it going? Panterita? All right, great. Good morning, Edilcia, Erika, and the whole community. We'll see you in a little while, right? We'll be back in a bit. We'll keep talking. Take care. Ana del Didicarte. Ana del Didicarte. Greetings. How have you been? Hello. Who else? Roble, huge greetings. Aurelio, how have you been? Also, all the way over there in New Mexico. Pepe says in a comment, I think that everywhere there are abusive people or governments because of the Hormuz situation. Hormozo Lavan? It's like Trump renaming the Gulf of Mexico. Why do they keep changing names? Anyway, greetings, Aurelio. Lorena says we'll be keeping an eye on the Japan issue. Greetings from Veracruz, and later we'll see what information keeps coming up. And we talk about it here, both this case and the previous one, which, by the way, is still ongoing. So, Salchelis, how have you been? Greetings all the way to Chile. How are you? Chile's big regards. Thanks for being here with us. All right, so let's go, shall we? Let's move on to other matters. It's time for more. We're back.